Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, all you lovely folks. Today we are chatting about Lego ideas. The reason being, this could be one of the best review periods we've had in some time. I would gander to say. Now, obviously, I could be absolutely wrong. I mean, we've had large review periods with, I think 80, 70 something. We've had many large periods. This, if I'm not mistaken, only had 43 sets in it. So these are the sets that made it to the 10K club. It's 42, my bad. These are the sets that made it to the 10K club to be up for approval from the Lego group moving forward. So let's talk about them. The very first one is a modular heritage museum. These kind of things, I feel like they come at the wrong time. They show up, they're an incredible build, and they just fall at the wrong time. We just got the Natural History Museum. This is it feels like one of those builds. It's like when you were submitted, you were good. And now that the product has come out, it's going to fall to the wayside. I don't think this gets built as cool as it is. And the round facade on the front of it, all floors of it, all three floors of it, it's just really cool. I don't think Lego's in the business of making Lego ideas modulars. It's just not a thing. The next one up, we have the Great Temple of Abu Simbel with Secret Treasure. I checked this over a few different times. I like the way this thing is done. It's really cool. A lot of really tiny pieces that create these builds. Very unique, fun, different. And I opened it and I was kind of like, this is fascinating as can be. And the back side of it, the front side of it. I mean, it doesn't matter really where you look. There's just some really cool stuff that goes along with it. I would be okay if this were to be selected. I love the pyramid. I love this. Anything Egyptian, I'm hardcore in. So I'd be okay if this got made. One of the things that I found really fascinating about this is one of the gods, goddesses, whatever they call them. One of them, the what are supposed to be carvings into the stone, whatever. One of the faces has fallen off of one of the four, and I thought that was kind of neat because you have the bricks down there to show that this is fallen. Next up, we have the Rolls-Royce Phantom 1 Phantom of Love. Cool car. I think it probably needs a little bit of love, a little bit of something needs to be different. I don't know that this is something that's going to happen. It's neat. It's definitely not something that I would say, yeah, I'm all in, but it's unique. Then we have the Moon Palace. This is neat. Definitely some Asian inspiration going on here with the buildings and stuff. The trees look kind of neat. I just don't foresee something like this being made because I don't think there's going to be a market for it unless, like I said before, we've talked about Lego ideas. Unless you've started from like set 1 up until now, I really honestly don't see it being a thing. Then we have NASA's SLS Block 1 and 1B rockets, the Artemis missions. Ugh. These are unique. Space stuff seems to go a long way. I really struggled to see potential of more of this coming out. It's always a possibility. 100% it is a possibility. I just don't know that it is necessarily going to happen. It is cool though. I do like it. I've got a number of space sets myself. I'd be okay with that. Next up, we have Lego Anatomy. Please, for the love of God, please work this time. I feel like Michael Scott from The Office. Please, no. In the other way, please, no, please, yes. Oh my God, please, yes. God, yes. Please, God, in the worst way I want this to go through. There are definitely some challenges that need to be met here. The only thing that I worry about is that we have the big minifig build right now. Is this going to be something, or is that going to be something that hinders this? And I think it could potentially be. I'm just hopeful that this could happen. Being an anatomy and physiology freak, A&P freak, I would love this in the worst way. Coraline, the Pink Palace, is up next from the Big Chicken. Very cool name for somebody submitting stuff. I don't know anything about Coraline. I mean, it looks cool, but it's a building. I don't know how well these buildings are going to do, especially when they're in pink and that kind of gray and white. I just don't know. Then we have the World Trade Center, Twin Towers, and Vista in an International Hotel 1979. As an American, 100%, this is in for me. The Vista Hotel, that can just take a doo-doo and go away. I just want the Twin Towers. Oh, well, you could build them yourself. It's not the same. 100%, I want this in there. I would buy it day one. I'd buy 2 copies. I'd keep one forever, and I'd build the other. I don't know where the sentiment is around the rest of the world. Obviously, people are like, it was a bad day. We feel for you and stuff like that, those that remember. But I don't think it's going to be enough of an audience. And then I also don't think that Lego necessarily wants to get involved with something like that was involved with, a war / terrorism / all that. I don't think it's going to go that way. Then we have Good Ogle's Garden by Bricky Brick. These are cool. We've got 4 plants here. I'd be okay. With all the botanicals and stuff out there, I don't see this happening. Happier Than Ever. This is really cool. I had to pull this one up and read way, way more about it than I probably should have. This it's absolutely fantastic. You have this old time radio with this scene set inside of it. I love this build. I think it is absolutely fantastic. For me, this would be something that I would be okay buying. I think it's kind of kitschy in its own way, and I'm there for it. Then we have City Burger. Well, this is neat. Feels very Lego City-esque. I think there's too much going on here. As cool as it would be, and the ability to attach train stuff to it, I believe you could, because there's a track running through part of it. I just, if it is involving kind of Lego City, I think it's going to be a no. The Desktop Rock and Roll. This jukebox, music machine, radio, whatever you want to call it, fantastic. I love the design. It's smaller, but man, it's so well done, top to bottom, inside and out. 100%, I think this should go through. Then we have Phineas and Ferb. I think licensing here with the house, the flying, I guess, car, whatever. I've never seen Phineas and Ferb. I think licensing is probably the problem. Then we move on to this beauty of a beast. Oh my God. The James Webb Space Telescope. I swear we have had one of these before. Maybe it was this one and got through again. This thing is exquisite. Again, space and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that I struggle with about this thing is that we have a lot of plates, a lot of flat, a lot of boring. And I'm not calling their design boring. I just don't know how Lego can jazz it up enough to make a fan base want to purchase it. Enough of them. Then we have Harry Styles Love on Tour 2023. After, BTS and that kind of stuff, I'm out on that. I mean, is it Harry? No, it's not Harry. I just don't foresee it happening. Then we have the Lego Microscope by Brick Science 16476. This is cool. I like it. The Science Geek, I'm in for it. It seems a little rough in some spots. Definitely a design team could fix this up. But then you have to ask yourself, where does it go? Where does it fit in? We had the ship in a bottle. That's just a complete display piece. I think this works, and it's got my vote. Then we have Sequoia Tree Trail by Peace on Earth. Sequoia trees are super incredible. If you don't know anything about them, they grow in California. I'm not sure about the specific region. That is definitely a goal of mine to be able to get out there at some point in time. But the cool thing about these, or this build, is you kind of have a little set idea that is built up here. This works for me. Parts, this is where things kind of get a little bit weird, right? It's 2,900 pieces. That's going to cost a heavy price tag. We're looking at 150, probably minimum, probably 2K. Yeah. Or 2K, $200, 200 euros, probably maybe even 250 now that I think about it. I think it's too rich for the idea stuff. Then we have the Tesla Center. This is okay. This is kind of neat. I don't foresee this happening whatsoever. We have the working canal lock. This thing is gorgeous. I love the way it's done. The canal locks actually work. There's, a hidden scene kind of idea on the back. This is really cool. I'd be okay if this were a thing that got produced. Again, it's just, where does it fit? And I don't know. I don't have that answer. I'm not 100% sure. I know it fits somewhere, but does it really fit? So then we have the Christmas theater. This one is actually pretty neat. Christmas idea, I just don't think it's going to work. Wreck-It Ralph 10th anniversary. Really cool. You've got the building, you've got the big Ralph, you've got all the things that are here. The main characters, licensing, maybe. Then we have Stray Kids, Ordinary Maniac. Yes, I did mean that. I don't know what this is. I think it's cool. The street scene is kind of neat. I just don't see it. Then we have the Rainforest Frogs. This is kind of neat. Not kind of neat. It is. It reminds me of the insects that we got, the insect collection sometime in 2023. This works for me. The frogs need some love. There's definitely a color issue because some of these pieces I don't know necessarily that they have. I think the biggest problem is the colors of the frogs. There aren't enough pieces to create these frogs in those colors 100%. So that might be a no-no, or it could be, we'll figure it out. But, by my count, you get 6 frogs. It's pretty darn cool. Steve Irwin and the Majestic Crocodile. 100% yes. Who doesn't love Steve Irwin? Absolutely incredible guy. Well, you look at the size of her. And I don't know. If my Australian accent is way off, then don't kill me. Don't get mad at me. I'm not going to get mad at somebody trying to do a Texas accent or different part of the United States. But this thing is really big. The crocodile is 100%. I'd be okay with that. Camelot, the Knights of the Round Table. Any other time I would say probably okay. Yes. Definitely needs some work on the build. But unfortunately, having Rivendell, I think it's too close to that. It doesn't get in. The next one we have is the Classic Tractor by Pez. Literally, that's why I did it. It has 3 Z's in there. Technic-based build. If I'm not mistaken, this would be the very first Technic-based build where you actually see Technic pieces showing, like heavily showing, to be built. But man, that tractor looks cool. The Forest Base. This, unfortunately, I think with the kind of the classic themes that Lego's pulling out, I don't think this gets made. Then we have the Vintage Service Station. Some big brick-built cars, this huge service station. The colors remind me of the Octan. It's really well done. Your vehicles are 8 studs wide. You've got all these working functions in there. But again, the problem is 2,800 pieces. Or I'm sorry, 2,900 pieces. That most definitely feels like it's going to be a deterrent. I'd love to see it, but not at that. So then we move on to the Sea Turtle by Lego Truman. Lego Truman's in here a few times. That name has been around so many times. I want the Sea Turtle in the worst way. It's so neat. Animal stuff, I'm 100% in on. Next up, we have probably my personal favorite of this wave, and it is 100% biased. But it is the No Man's Sky Radiant Pillar BC1 by NASA 105. NASA 105, you are my best friend now. I would buy the instructions off of this man for over $100 just to make this thing. If you don't know, No Man's Sky is a video game that has been around, I believe, since 2016. I have over 15, probably 1,600 hours in it at this point in time. It's continual updates and stuff like that. But this is the original ship that you start with in the game. You get the minifig of your character, and then you get the Sentinels, which are the robots that are checking the area. And then you have a bunch of land, or you have a land piece here that has all of the elements that you need to kind of survive. So 100% bias, but 100% absolutely, you got my vote. I just think it's a little rough around the edges. I think if it were scaled up a little bit more, it would probably do better. But my God, if this thing gets produced, I am that stupid fool that is buying at least 5 of these. 100%. And I know I've said 100% a lot. This, y'all don't understand the love that I have for this. This is one of those video games where I could sit down and play for 10 hours straight and get completely lost. Yes, no food, no restroom, nothing. I just go and I can't stop. This game is an addiction to me. Then we have the Pirate Treasure Chest. This is cool. It unfolds. You get to see this whole little scene on the inside, this little micro build. It's a neat idea. And the cool thing is it can be displayed in an open way. I would love to see it. It fits that kind of ship in a bottle model. I just don't think it's going to work. Then we have Queen Elizabeth II, I guess in her younger age, in her little royal office and stuff. It is neat. In the US, I don't think there's as many, like, I don't want to say nuts. You're not nutty people. I don't think there's as many people that are like overly into the royal family type thing. And maybe the English are not either. Maybe they are not either, but I don't see enough here for it to get through. Then we have the mechanical flip calendar. This is done by Sariel, I believe is what it is. He used to be a Lego ambassador. This thing is incredible. You have the months, you have the days, you have the day of the week indicator, which I thought was incredibly cool. And he is a Technic savvy dude. And this is a Technic build 100%. It does have a system frame around the outside, but it is, Lego's already got their like little date. I call them dice because that's what they look like. They're little calendar type thing, your desktop calendar type thing. But man, this would be so wicked. Then we have the Italian Riviera. This is fun. I like the builds. I like the buildings. The roof is really nice. The roof is where the majority of the parts come from because the 1x1 round bricks that you have, I think that's going to be a problem. I think it's too many pieces, as cool as it is, but man, it's really nice. Then we have Subnautica, the Aurora. I asked my son, I was like, hey, come in and take a look at this. And he was like, I kind of have PTSD from this. He was like, I kind of hate this game. I don't know what it is about the game. It's an underwater game. Think of it as like No Man's Sky, but underwater. It definitely has a following. I don't know if it's as big, but it's unique. I still don't think it happens though. Probably licensing. No Man's Sky, probably licensing issue as well. The Pink Palace apartment from Coraline. Dear God. Another one? No, I'm not trying to be mean. It's a different kind of build. It's a different kind of take on it. It is unique. It is nice. But again, I don't know that it is going to work because of the color contrast. The Galley of Warriors. This, oh my God, this ship is so stinking cool. I love this thing. If this happened, I think this would do gangbusters. I honestly think this would be something that people would go absolutely nuts over. I just don't think it's going to get made. I think it's too detailed to get made. And I know that sounds wrong. There's just something about it. The Simpsons, the Krusty Burger. I mean, we haven't had anything Simpsons in a long time. Is this going to happen? Do you think it's going to happen? I mean, there's a giant following of The Simpsons. I'm a family guy myself. I've never really cared for The Simpsons. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it doesn't happen, but you've got a lot of people back behind that. So next up, we have the Working Log Flume 2, redesigned and motorized by Baron von Baron. That name has been around many times with many different builds. 127% I'm in on this. It's very roller coaster-esque. It is something that I can build and play with. It is something that I could fit into a theme park. If I were to be something like, a builder or something like that, 127%, you got my vote if I were a Lego designer. This is not something that I think is super difficult to reproduce. I think it's well within what should and could be done. The only problem is that it's 3,000 pieces. Now you have the mechanism for the gearing and all that with the chain. That's going to add probably 500 pieces right there. Maybe there's a way it could happen, but I don't think it does. Then we have the IKEA Store Modular. IKEA, Lego's had an IKEA partnership before. While it may not have been the most lucrative, you have this little build, 3 stories. It's cute. It's nice. It fits into the modular system. I just don't think it happens. Then we have the A-Team Double Heat by Mock Turnal. How many? Do you remember? I want to say like 2 years ago, something like that. We had a period of Lego ideas where we must have had 10 of these in a calendar year, maybe 18 months. And it was like another A-Team, another A-Team, another A-Team. The problem with this is I think the majority of the generation following the A-Team is well too far past. I don't think it hits the same crowd. Maybe it's a licensing issue. I just don't foresee this being something that Lego's like, yeah, 100%. I don't think it'll do very well. And when we talk about the next one, you may say the same thing. You may be like, I don't think it'll do very well. And it's even older yet. So what I'm talking about is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Here we go again. Maybe that's the name of the new movie. I don't know. This is done by 2 people, PPL2 and PPL along with it. A lot of minifigs. You get quite a few. This is something where I think it's cool. It's unique. It's different. Unfortunately, I don't think it works. So those are all 42. I definitely have a lot that I'm a big fan of. Of course, No Man's Sky, 100% for me, like I said, is in. I love the flume. I love the clock. The sea turtle for me, the vintage service station, the tractor, the croc, even the tree frogs. Wreck-It Ralph is still okay. I'd be all right with that. And I know I'm going through this fast. The sequoia tree, the microscope, the James, I can't remember the TWST telescope. You've got the desktop rock and roll. You have the Happier Than Ever kind of radio going on there. You got the Twin Towers for me. I don't want to say selfish reasons, but kind of like selfish reasons. You got the Lego Anatomy guy. You've got the rockets, and you have the temple. And then of course you have the modular Heritage Museum. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here, and it's not to say that there haven't been good things in the past. I just think there's a much wider demographic of builds here that could be produced to reach a much bigger audience. Now, there are going to be some, like, No Man's Sky. Like I told you, I would buy multiple copies of it. Does it mean it's going to happen? I don't know what the following is like that. It's as if they were to do, let's say, for instance, and this wouldn't get in because of violence, without a doubt, but let's say somebody built something about Grand Theft Audio, all right? Let's just say there's a part of it where somebody built it, I don't know, from the game somewhere, some iconic thing, maybe even the cover of the game. That would, so many people have played that and have had many, many hours of their life in that game. And again, it comes down to, it's only a certain following. I could say the same about Steve Irwin, but I think majority of people know the name Steve Irwin. They know what he did and all that kind of thing. So go ahead and take a peek with a link that's in there. And, I'd be curious to see your responses. The last time we did the Lego ideas, I got a plethora of emails saying, hey, I thought. or I agreed. I think you're totally wrong. I think I got it all and I'm 100% okay with it. It's just kind of funny. So I encourage you, shoot me an email. Let me know. Message on social media. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we're going to wrap this thing up. We have Lego City coming up next. So until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.